They did it in France. They killed the king, the queen. They wanted to kill the kids too, but the kids got away. So they turned to killing all the other aristocrats, and then they even turned to killing the members who had created this reign of terror. Robespierre, they beheaded that sucker. He was the head of it. Once violence begets violence. That's why I'm fearful of, I'm not too fearful because the country will right itself. But I am fearful of all these threats against congressmen. Putting coffins on the front yards of congressmen and threatening by email and by phone to kill congressmen because they voted for the bill, the health care bill. I mean, that kind of nonsense. That's why the elites had reason to fear the people. You know, it's not safe to drive through Mississippi these days. I drove through it for the first time in 1963. I don't ever want to go back to Mississippi, except to do a little gambling. You know, they don't have really good gambling there anyway. Golf court. Mississippi's strange, but I like it. I like strange states. My wife and I got married in Mexico, and let's see, there's a petition circulating. This is a petition to remove the President of the United States and replace him with a despotic king. If you sign that, the FBI will be hot on your tail, just like Sandra Bullock is hot on my tail. I'm now off of her list of invited guests to her Christmas party, and Matthew McConaughey's back on it. And as I mentioned to the class in your absence, which was noticeable, but you're here now. We're all here now. Welcome. I'm glad you can make it. You took a long, extended spring break. You think that I missed you. You don't think I missed you, but I did. You took a spring break before spring break. You took a spring break, as far as I know, during spring break, and you've taken part of a spring break after spring break, which is the way to go. I used to do that too. You know, I'd say they're not gonna remember my face, and they didn't. You know, but I had stupid professors unlike you, who at least in one instance has at least I try. I fall short, but a man and a woman's reach should exceed their grasp, or what's a heaven for? I think that's Shakespeare too. It's not, but you know, we attribute everything we don't know to Shakespeare because no one knows what Shakespeare ever said. I saw Anthony Hopkins, the movie star, performed King Lear. I think I mentioned this before, at the National Theatre in Britain. He's a short little fellow, but he has a booming voice, and I didn't understand a single word he said. I had no idea what he was talking. I thought, what is this? I don't understand any of this. I had next to me an old Scotsman sitting in a tweed coat, and we were chatting beforehand. That's how I knew he was Scottish. And as soon as the lights dimmed and the play began, he fell asleep and snored with a Scottish accent. He snored, and people were just, you know, they were motioning to me to elbow him. But I said, well, sir, I'm an elbow model. You know, like how some people are, you know, like their hands models, you know, they just show their hands, you know. Well, I'm an elbow model. And it comes from just elbowing aside competition. Jamie understands that. You know, if you're in a line you want to get in, I like to get into Walmart, you know. Be the first in line, and yes, you can let somebody have it. You know, like a little old lady and she collapses and they trample her. I don't feel guilty over that. I don't even confess that confession. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought, or I lost my subway of thought, or my 18-wheeler of thought. Are you laughing with me, at me, or for me? All of the above. None of the above. A but not C. D but not F. Does anyone remember what I was saying? Aha! She has arrived, and she has brought out with her.
My son, is it okay if he sits in here?
No, get that little rascal out of here. Get your little carcass out of here. This is an ad. Hey, how you doing, buddy? What's your name? Coke?
Colton.
Colton. How you doing, buddy? Give me a high five. I wear bifocals and I always give me. Come on. I float like a butterfly, I sting like a bee. Yes, I'm glad he's here because your mom, what am I dressed up as? Besides a fool, a court jester. I don't know either. I have no idea. But your mom wanted to know what a soliloquy is, and so now we are going to have a soliloquy. Then, Mr. Mann, will you take then a class picture? We shall all gather together in an aggregate, as Madison would say, a group that shares a common impulse, but I think we all share uncommon impulses. Colton? What? You don't ask the questions. I ask the questions, Colton. I expect you to be here from now on. I want Colton sign this leg. Give me that. Give me, thank you. Mom's going to sign this list and you're going to sign it. It's a petition to eliminate weekends for school students. There'll be no more weekends. It's 7 days a week, 366 days a year. And I want you to fill out a class evaluation too. Your mom can help you, but she cheats, so don't necessarily, if she says, well, you know, put down, you know, well, that's enough of that. Okay. I've read this about, hey, sir, you came in late and then pass it back. And what I want you to do is write down here all of these, which of the following statements about interest groups was not made by Madison. And I'm giving you this, write down all of those because I read them to the class, and I want you and Colton's mom, who arrived late and for which this presentation, I fought the battle of not Jericho, but Agincourt. My next trip to France, I'm going to Agincourt. I'm caught in a burning ring of fire. Gosh, look at this. Don't look at it. I'm embarrassed. Am I embarrassing you, Colton?
No.
Well, you ought to be embarrassed. You ought to be embarrassed by George. You little punks these days just have no sense of humility, you know. When I was your age, first of all, my mom would never have brought me to class. She said, that kid always embarrasses me.